Probably the most commonly used function in Excel, SUM, sum, add up the numbers. There's also a button called AutoSum. On the right side of the Home tab, you'll see AutoSum. Notice there's a drop arrow to the right of it. Click it, you'll see some other choices as well. The AutoSum button is also found on the Formulas tab in the ribbon. Left side, also a drop arrow there. The AutoSum button, the AutoSum capability, is designed to add numbers from above or from the left. Typical example would be in cell G2. We want a total from the left to the right. We can use that button, or as we slide over the button, notice it's got a keystroke shortcut, Alt equal. Either one is going to work here. I'll press Alt equal. We see what Excel is about to do. It's about to add up those numbers. We'll simply press Enter. Let me undo that with Control Z. If you use the button, you can click on it, ultimately the same effect. You can press Enter or click the button again. And that suggests, why not just double-click the button? Active cell is here. Double-click AutoSum. Click, click. Likely to be faster. Sometimes we want a total by adding numbers from above. How about here? If we highlight the numbers ahead of time, not a requirement necessarily, but if we do highlight these numbers ahead of time, we can either press AutoSum once, or as I undo it with Control Z, with the data highlighted, we can press Alt equal. We get a total that way. So if you select the data ahead of time, Excel will put in the formula and the result for us simply by pressing the AutoSum button once or using the keystroke shortcut. If you highlight the data this way, that includes the empty cell below it, same thing will happen. We can click AutoSum or press Alt equal. We'll get our total at the bottom. Down in rows 12 through 15, if we want a total on the right, we could, in a number of ways, get that total maybe by highlighting the data this way, pressing Alt equal or AutoSum. Let me undo that again. If we simply highlighted these cells, we can press AutoSum or Alt equal. Works that way too. And similarly, if we wanted totals here, we could press Alt equal or AutoSum and get totals of the data from above. And backtracking again by pressing Control Z twice. If we knew ahead of time that we wanted those totals there, we could highlight the data this way and press Alt equal or click the AutoSum button. Either way. And another variation. What if we wanted averages on the perimeter here, on the right side and on the bottom? We can click the drop arrow for AutoSum and choose average. We'll have averages there. Obviously, next step, adjust those displays of decimals there to make them standardized. Now, we also have the capability here of using these for different kinds of data. And you can almost make the case for saying, anytime you want to add data, why not use AutoSum? So maybe I'm about to gather data from different locations here. I'm about to type equal sum, but why not press Alt equal? Now, Excel might make a bad guess as to what I want to add up. I'm not going to worry about that. I won't have to erase that. But if I want to add up some of the quarter numbers from the left, with the mouse right now, I'll highlight the relevant cells. If I also want to add up data from the group below, I'll put in a comma and highlight some of those cells. Now, it's an unlikely scenario to be selecting data from these different clusters here, but by putting in a comma, we can add data from other locations as well. So anytime you're using the sum function, you can make a case for saying, why not just use AutoSum, either the button or its keystroke shortcut. Now, you'll also find occasionally conflict, but easy to override. I've got some numbers here. I've got some numbers off to the left. And I'm about to add the numbers from the left. But as I use AutoSum, and whether it's the button or the keystroke shortcut, AutoSum looks upward for numbers first. I don't want to add those numbers. I want to add the numbers from the left. So with the mouse, I'll simply highlight those numbers. In other words, I'm redirecting Excel into selecting a different group and Enter. So we can use AutoSum in a variety of situations. And by the way, you can add times here too, but you might be in for a surprise when we see a total here. I'll use Alt equal here. We're about to add up those. Press Enter. Now that can't be the right answer, 338. Interesting, in this example, if we highlight these cells here, we do see a correct total at the bottom. It's 27 hours and 38 minutes. Now, how does that differ from here? Differs by 24. This is not exactly a bug, but certainly something that I think should work a little bit differently. When you're adding up entries like this, why not get the correct total? Now, we can get this very easily by going to Format Cells. And you can do that by either right-clicking and going to Format Cells, or by using a keystroke shortcut, Control-1. That takes us to Format Cells. It doesn't always take you to the Number tab, But if it doesn't, click number. And the place to go to here, for this example, time category. You wouldn't know at first that you have to choose the entry that's got a 37 in it. Now there is a preview up above right here that says 27:38. It shows hours, minutes, and seconds. If you don't want that, wouldn't be harmful here by any means. We could from there jump right over to custom, and in the format right here, simply wipe out the SS and everything to the right of it. And actually the colon follows the MM as well. And that's our display, and that's our answer. Now, if you'd want to do an average here, you could, once again, take advantage of that drop arrow with the semicolon. It's faster than typing average, but choose average. But notice how here it's about to pick up the total. So if you slide the mouse over the corner, you could redirect it to do this. And so the average would be there. And that should correspond with what we see at the bottom of the screen if we highlight these cells and look at the average at the bottom. Because the average actually includes seconds. This doesn't. But nevertheless, different techniques here for using AutoSum and this adjustment that's necessary when we're working with times of day.